Hello, this is Jim Duffy of Refining Fire Chiles, www.superhotchilies.com. And welcome to our video series called Peppers 101. In this video series, we hope to educate you and bring you knowledge of chilies that you may have never heard of, in the hopes that you will be inspired and encouraged to grow more chilies and grow different chilies and cook with different chilies and eat different chilies and share different chilies with people. Because if we don't keep all these different chili varieties going, who else will? Some could actually disappear. We don't know. So it is my goal and my legacy to leave you with as much knowledge on chilies as I possibly can. And that's why we created this channel on our YouTube channel, Refining Fire Chiles, this series called Peppers 101. It is 2023. It is September 1st. And we are going to have over 100 videos. So please subscribe this year. Please subscribe and hit the bell notification so you can be notified when other chili varieties come up. And our public service announcement message that we say in almost every video, and it may upset you, some of you, or offend some of you, and we apologize for that in advance, that we keep saying this, but get your children into the garden. You don't have a garden, make a small garden. Anybody can learn how to garden, even on a small level. If you need help, you got my business card, you can always call me. Okay? And I'll try to help you as much as I can. But get your children into the garden as young as possible. And then when they see the wonderment and the miracle of a seed, a tiny seed growing into a big plant, and that plant producing something like tomatoes or cucumbers or peppers or squash, and then take them into the kitchen for the next phase, and then let them help you prepare the meal. And then the final phase is let them help you serve the meal. Okay? You do this and you are going to have a better citizen and human being on this planet in the future, because the lessons they will learn from this are greater than what they'll learn from just some silly nonsense on their phone, maybe, even though there's a lot of information on the phone. With that being said, this chili here is the Bhut Orange Copenhagen, BOC for short. It's been around for over 10 years. And it's a beautiful orange, super hot chili. I love orange. Orange chilies, to me, have the best flavor. I prefer oranges and yellows. That's just me. You might prefer the browns or chocolates or the reds. Anyway, this strain was created and developed, and I don't know how they did it. I don't know if it was an accidental cross and then they kept selecting. And as today, in 2023, Bjorn Holland and Soren Ries Larsen, I believe I'm pronouncing the last name right. They're two Dutch or Netherlands growers in that region, are still, I know Bjorn still is, doing selection of these peppers. They're just growing this pepper over and over and over again, trying to select the best. I did get seeds years ago, but then back in 2019, 2020, I got some fresh seeds of a better selection from Bjorn personally. He sent them to me, didn't even charge me for them, because he wants to keep this pepper going. It's his baby. It's his thing he's proud of. And if everybody did that with every other super hot cross, we'd have more stable strains out there, more consistent strains, and better strains. Instead of trying to make 20 different crosses every year and not getting any of them really good, because you just want to keep making cool names and cool crosses, how about some of you guys just focus on one and dedicate years and years to it? Because if you do that, then long after you're gone, your cross might still be growing in the garden. If you don't, it might fade away in a couple of years, since it won't be the new thing anymore. The Bhut Orange Copenhagen, as you can see, is pretty very, kind of has a consistency in the shape and the look of them. Okay? They ripen from green to kind of a medium orange. Sometimes they'll get dark orange. It depends on how long they're on the plant to ripen. Also depends on growing conditions. They do have fruity citrus tones. Their heat is just as hot as any red Bhut Jolokia. They will burn you pretty good. There's a nice green one, and one that's fully ripened underneath. They're pretty darn productive. As you can see up here, through the nets. There's quite a few chilies on the branches. I mean, you know, if you grow chilies, you know when they're green, you really don't know what you got because they kind of disguise themselves in the foliage and the leaves of the plant. And when they start coloring, then you know what you got. So we're about to pick today. We've already picked once, or early picking, which was just a handful of peppers. We did have some caterpillar worms attack these, so we didn't do really good in the first picking, just a couple. The rest of the pods we threw away because they had holes in them. But now, with some organic sprays, soapy sprays, and putting out bug zapper lights attract moths, and moths are the ones that make the worms that attack your chilies. So the more moths and flying insects you zap, the less caterpillar worms you have making holes in your peppers. And that's the issue I have here in Georgia. Not so much in California, but in Georgia, yes. In California, it was aphids and spider mites. And here in Georgia, it's the caterpillar worms, stink bugs, leaf-footed nymphs. That's who's been my nemesis here. So every time you move somewhere, you have different threats to your chilies. So this is the Bhut Orange Copenhagen. The plants will get a little bit between 4 and 5 feet tall. Like I said, they're pretty productive. Heat levels close to a ghost pepper, maybe a little bit above, it depends. Some peppers have an upfront burn that has nothing to do with capsaicin because some varieties have a heavy dose of a compound called terpenes, which is not measured, which is also found in pine trees. And terpenes is responsible for how the burn feels, the intensity of the burn. Also, there's another molecule in there called dihydrocapsaicin, which they can measure, but I don't think they often measure it, and that can affect the burn as well. And then capsaicin has a number of different molecules. So there's a lot of factors that could make a pepper burn the heck out of you, but not have high SHU or Scoville unit, heat unit numbers. Just to let you know. So, I mean, and if that's what you want is to burn, what do the numbers matter? If it really burns you more than something else, and it's a lower number, who cares? It's doing what you want, right? It's burning the heck out of you because you want that. You're challenging yourself with heat. So this is the Bhut Orange Copenhagen, and this is Jim Duffy of Refining Fire Chilies. Please like the video, subscribe, and hit the bell notification so you can be notified when new chilies come up. Like I said, we plan on having over 100 videos this year, 2023. And there's bound to be some chilies you've never heard of, that you've never ever heard of. So we're hoping that we expose you to that. And again, get your children in the garden and in the kitchen. Teach them some valuable things that they can take with them the rest of their lives. Bhut Orange Copenhagen, Refining Fire Chilies, pure isolated seeds. Take care.